Welcome to the video. In today's video, we are going to be playing some Geometry. Also, my username is YouTuber. Right here. Yeah, but so I'm going to show you some of my levels. Throwing the arrow. Make sure to dodge. Ooh, I'm doing good. Right at check one.
Which is in every.
See, that's the thing. Platformer because it's the watching video. Do I have to go here to one? I hope you guys like the level. Okay. Also, we're gonna ask
weird sort of self-organizing.
We're actually gonna
delete
this.
Movement that had ever hit the
Why?
British Empire.
Okay, so here's where
Well,
we
you
get to the part of the story
probably
that is in
think.
deep flux. After the murder of the Ruck family, the settlers demanded that the colonial government do something, and they did. They pursued the Mau Mau fighters, supposedly a small band of fighters, into the forest. There were skirmishes that lasted for years. Story goes the Mau Mau movement never quite gained traction, and ultimately the British quelled the rebellion. They handled it. Now, as for how they handled it, for the longest time, so we'll look back, it was this giant blank spot. No one quite knew what happened, and here's why. According to David Anderson, by the time the British finally decided to leave Kenya, this is 1963.
By that time, Kenya is around the 20th.
So what are we gonna do?
So it's about halfway down the list. So there's already in place a process.
At the Uhuru Stadium, the Articles of Independence were handed.
We're gonna also
There's a formal exchange of powers. They set off fireworks, and then
At midnight, the Union Jack was lowered for the last time.
the Brits roll out.
In other words, they run a smooth and colourful and happy exit.
And at some point in that well-worn exit process, either right before the exit or right afterwards, there was what David calls it.
Reading of documents.
I mean, the British government conducted very, very sophisticated purge operations in all of its former colonies.
It's Katie Engelhardt again. She says, everywhere you look, Uganda, Palestine, Rhodesia, Zanzibar, Nigeria, Jordan, Malaya, Hong Kong.
There are stories of papers being kind of tightly packed into boxes and dropped at sea. A lot of papers were burned.
There's a joke among Indian historians that on the day that India achieved its independence, when the celebration was taking place in Delhi, you could hardly see what was going on the podium as the wafts of smoke blowing across from the bonfires of burning documents.
Okay.
Just to say that it was
Saving
for 30 years that blank spot.
Hope you guys like the level. what if someone made this level now? Something a code board. What kind of shit?
Once confessions were made, they would then be rewarded by a better prison regime. Then you moved into given privileges, given better food, you moved off the system, pipeline. You would along the pipeline until you were released.
But you first had to confess.
confess. To confess.
This is new to you. Through administration.
I joined
Damn.
the freedom struggle when I was 17 years of age.
Organizer, recruiter, and therefore a target.
They had
W-O, 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 madness, quack,
In fact, one man told us a story of how in one of the barbed wire villages,
not very good, but
every once in a while,
the mama would come to the edge of the forest.
just outside the village's fence, these were the fighters that hadn't been captured
Kind of-
yet. They'd come right to the edge of the camp, where a lot of the children would be playing.
yeah, I don't. Okay, I'm just gonna zoom in this way. Ooh. You did a good job. And then you can watch a lot of video. That's the fish. This video is probably gonna be shorter than some of my videos. I didn't even do that. No, because you say that's a huge stone. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's it for this video. Goodbye.